What if one decision had completely reshaped the First World War? What if China, the most populous nation on Earth, had not aligned with the Allies, but instead joined Germany, Austria-Hungary, and the Ottoman Empire? In our timeline, China played a limited role in World War I, mostly supplying labor to the Allied powers. It never sent large armies to Europe. It never became a decisive military force. But history could have taken a different path. At the dawn of the 20th century, China was weak, divided, and humiliated by foreign powers. Yet it also possessed something no other nation had: sheer human scale, hundreds of millions of people, vast natural resources, strategic access to Asia and the Pacific. So today, we explore an alternate history, one that challenges everything we think we know about World War I. What if China joined the Central Powers? To understand this scenario, we must first understand China's condition in 1914. China was not a rising power. It was a collapsed empire struggling to survive. In 1911, the Qing dynasty, which had ruled China for over 260 years, fell. The Chinese Republic replaced imperial rule, but stability did not follow. Instead, China entered an era of political chaos, regional warlords, economic weakness, foreign domination. European powers, Japan, and Russia had carved China into spheres of influence. Foreign troops occupied Chinese ports. Western companies controlled trade. Chinese sovereignty was deeply compromised. Germany controlled Qingdao, a key port in Shandong province. Britain dominated Hong Kong. France ruled nearby Indochina. Japan eyed China as its next prize. China resented the Allies far more than it trusted them. Germany, meanwhile, was one of the few European powers that had treated China with relative respect, investing in infrastructure and modernization rather than outright exploitation. This historical resentment creates the foundation for an alternate choice. In our timeline, China joined the Allies in 1917, hoping to regain German-held territories diplomatically. But imagine a different calculation. What if Chinese leaders believed the Allies were imperialist predators? Japan was the real threat. Germany offered a better long-term partner. Germany had trained Chinese officers. German military advisors were already present in China. German industry admired Chinese potential. Now imagine Germany offering China a deal: recognition of full Chinese sovereignty, military aid and modernization, support against Japanese expansion, restoration of lost territories. For a young, humiliated republic, this offer would be irresistible. China joins the Central Powers, not out of ideology, but survival. At first glance, China's army seemed ineffective, poorly trained, poorly equipped, fragmented among warlords. But numbers matter. China could mobilize millions of soldiers, something the Central Powers desperately lacked by 1916. Even if only a fraction were modernized, China could tie down Japanese forces, threaten British colonies in Asia, disrupt Allied supply lines. China wouldn't need to fight in Europe. Its battlefield would be Asia. The Asian front explodes. With China joining the Central Powers, Japan faces a massive land war in East Asia. British India becomes vulnerable. French Indochina faces pressure. Russian Far East supply lines are threatened. Japan, previously secure, suddenly faces its worst nightmare: a hostile mainland with endless manpower. Japan would be forced to divert troops from the Pacific and Europe. This alone changes the balance of the war. Japan in World War I was an allied power. It seized German colonies in the Pacific and expanded its influence in China. But in this alternate timeline, China becomes Japan's greatest enemy. A Chinese-German alliance means Germany supports Chinese resistance. Japan faces insurgencies in occupied regions. Korean independence movements intensify. Japan's empire becomes overstretched. Instead of expanding, Japan fights for survival. This delays Japan's rise as a global power, possibly preventing its later dominance in World War II. China's resources would matter enormously. China could supply the Central Powers with food, raw materials, labor, manufacturing capacity. The Allied naval blockade was devastating to Germany. But with Chinese industrial zones feeding Asian routes, the Central Powers gain breathing room. Germany may still struggle, but it does not suffocate as quickly. This prolongs the war. A longer war favors the side that can endure. China ensures the Central Powers endure longer than expected. Russia already struggled on the Eastern Front. Now imagine Russia facing pressure from Germany in the West, China destabilizing Siberia, Japan distracted and unreliable. Revolution arrives sooner. The Russian Empire collapses faster. The Bolsheviks seize power earlier, or perhaps chaos prevents them entirely. With Russia out of the war sooner, Germany redeploys forces west. The war in Europe changes dramatically. China alone would not guarantee victory, but it would delay Allied dominance, weaken Japan, disrupt Asia, strengthen Germany's endurance. A negotiated peace becomes possible, not a total German victory, but no humiliating defeat, no Treaty of Versailles, no collapse of Germany, no conditions that create Hitler. This single alliance reshapes the 20th century. China benefits enormously. Instead of being ignored at Versailles, China gains recognition, regains territory, modernizes its military, strengthens national unity. Warlordism weakens. Foreign domination declines. China emerges as a respected global power decades earlier. The Chinese Civil War may never happen, or looks completely different. Communism may never rise. Without a harsh German defeat, no Nazi ideology, no World War II as we know it, no Pacific War. Japan's ambitions are crushed early. Colonial empires weaken differently. Asia modernizes under new power structures. The United States enters global leadership later. The Cold War may never exist. The world becomes multipolar much earlier. China never joined the Central Powers. But if it had, World War I would not be remembered as a European conflict. It would be remembered as the first true global war, an alliance of desperation, a shift of power, a world rewritten before it ever reached its darkest chapters. History often turns not on strength, but on decisions, and one decision could have changed everything. History is not fixed. It is shaped by choices that were never made. And sometimes, the most powerful forces are the ones that never entered the war.